All right. You are now tuned in to S.C.A.M Artist TV, and this is the Trap Card. Today we're going to be doing a Dragon Ball Z themed episode. We'll be discussing things and recent events like the new DBZ game Xenoverse, which is getting a lot of fanfare, and we'll also be discussing the trailer for Revival of F, as well as the fallout or the controversy surrounding Frieza's new transformation. So let's go ahead and get started. I'll just go ahead and tell you myself. I have not played the Xenoverse game, nor will I. I probably won't be playing it in the near future because I've not been a fan of the Dragon Ball games. The Budokai were like the best versions of them, in my opinion. But even then, I've never really appreciated the combat system for the games. I've always felt like they were the most cheap button masher styled fighting games that you could come across. Now, that said, I'm aware that this game is supposed to be more open world expansion and things of that nature, and story modes and stuff. So I don't know if it divulges down into a simple fighting game. I mean, I'm sure my co-host will be able to expand upon that a little bit better. Though I will say that this is just another great addition from what fans are telling me to the universe. And it's good to see that Dragon Ball is still thriving very much so 20 years from the date that it kind of entered our lives for the most part. So that's my stance on it. I really don't have much to say about it. Like I said, I have not played it much. So I'll go ahead and turn this over to Flip. Flip, what were your thoughts on Xenoverse?
I will say that it's a good starting point to say that it's going to be the next gen foray into Dragon Ball video games, coming off the Budokai Tenkaichi and for it as the two series that actually matter from the last generation. Actually, nah, Budokai didn't even come out on 360, so it doesn't even matter. But yeah, so it's not perfect. Character creation is cool, but you know it's limited. There's probably like 30 or 40 different options that you have in order to kind of make your character unique. The battle system is not, you know, it's not Street Fighter. You know what I'm saying? It's not. There's no complex fucking combinations and shit. It's essentially Dynasty Warriors if we're talking about combat, like strings of attacks and shit. But it's satisfying. Like, I'm fucking shit up, you know what I'm saying? Hit a nigga with a 12-hit combo, then hit him with a special beam cannon at the end of that shit. I'm fucking with it. It looks really good. The servers are fucking horrific. They've only worked probably like 35% of the time that I've been playing. But the quests are cool. They're challenging. When the online works, it is fun as fuck to play with homies fighting against ridiculous powered up motherfuckers. You know, I like the somewhat grinding aspects of the game, where you have to level up your, you know, it's got some action RPG elements to it, where you have to level up, you equip different skills and things like that, similar to how Budokai and I guess Tenkaichi were. But you know, all in all, I think if you're a Dragon Ball fan, it's a definite purchase. If you're not, I mean, it's not like a must-have game if you're not a DBZ fan, but I mean, I don't even know how many of you exist, people that don't like DBZ at all. So, yeah, I would say cop it if you like DBZ, though. That's just me.
So, I'm going to go around the room and see who agrees with Flip or not. Antoine, punch or counter?
I punch with that, man.
David? If you've had a chance to play the game, punch or counter?
Well, I haven't had a chance to play the game, but from my experience with Dragon Ball Z fighting games, like, yeah, I guess they are on the easier side, but I mean, they're fun and they're flashy, and that's what a lot of people like. So I guess I'd punch with that.
Okay. Well, then, Twan, let's go ahead and swing it back to you, and I'll give you a chance to expand on things that you think the Flip might not have covered.
I think that what the thing is that what makes it, it is that it is just fun. It is probably the funnest that you. It was the funnest Dragon Ball Z experience I've ever had. And that's beyond Tenkaichi. The only thing that I think that can make it better would be just environmental damage, but that's just really a small point. The combat system is not great at all, but it's something where it's different. It's just a different aspect that you can have of a game. Um, you know, the idea of being different races, like I was able to start as this Frieza's race, having different character traits that you can have with it, is really cool. Um, like you can have a master that can teach you a technique. Like my first master was Krillin. He was a joke. And then I picked up Cell. Cell is my master. You know what? That's crazy. I'm about to learn Perfect Kamehameha. Like the game is a lovely looking game. Um, hopefully when they come out with the second version, you know what? They will have like a more open world to it where like, you are beating up like random Cybermen or random little Frieza cohorts or something like that. But as of right now, the game is just what it is. It's just a fun game. It's not overly complex and it's not even overly simplistic. It gets really hard at one point. So, you just gotta do what you need to do to get your powers up and become the strongest person in the universe.
Okay. Well, I mean, to that extent, I can never argue that the Budokai games aren't fun. It wasn't fun for me, but it's kind of like Flip said. It has more to do with the fact that it's not a Street Fighter-based mechanics, which I'm a fan of Street Fighter and the mechanics of that game. So that's what I like. Or something like Marvel vs. Capcom. I wish that Capcom had the opportunity to do a DBZ game. That would be amazing in my opinion. But moving on, let's talk about the Revival of Frieza trailer and the one-shot manga that was released by Toriyama, which is like the first new canon release that we've gotten in years, explaining the premise of Revival of F and how Frieza is able to come back. So I've seen the trailer. Most people have seen trailers by now. A lot of people are excited about this. Some people were more excited beforehand, but less excited now. I thought the manga chapter that Toriyama did was amazing. Was it groundbreaking? No, but well, actually, I take that back. It could be considered groundbreaking in the sense that this is the first time we've seen a story that has 20 years worth of history get a new additional manga chapter after a year. So in that extent, it is groundbreaking. But to the extent of what it accomplished within the story, is it groundbreaking? Is it stuff that we've never seen before? No. Now, I like where it was going. Basically, if you haven't seen it, I'm going to say spoiler alert up off top. Please go, stop the video now, go read the manga chapter. You can find it on any of the manga sites, Manga Panda, any of those, and then read the chapter yourself, and then that way you can have an understanding of it before I go ahead and spoil it for you. So essentially, the manga chapter discusses how some of Frieza lackeys, his army is like basically pitiful at this point. They've been decimated. They're not holding on. They're having a hard time trying to find and conquer planets without organization, and they're becoming weak. And they're trying to follow up on the Namekians and get the Dragon Balls from there, but they can't do it. So they're not strong enough to challenge them. So they decide to go to Earth and then gather those Dragon Balls. And they go to Earth, and somehow, despite the fact that we have all the Z fighters there, nobody realizes it until it's too late. So they bring Frieza back to life because they need to have stability to this army. So he's brought back to life, and then they put him in the regeneration machine to regenerate his body because they explain that science has come so far that now they can actually recover Frieza within his entirety. And I'm glad that they explained that. Because that was important. Because you're like, all right, wait a minute, what happened last time? They didn't have the ability to do anything last time, but they did this time. So another thing that I really liked about this was that when they wished back the Shenron, he explained, hey, I cannot. I mean, there would be no point in me bringing him back with his body in this state. And I'm glad that they did that, because a lot of times you would see, people do things and then they don't even put logic to it. And I felt like Toriyama at least applied some logic to this story. So anyway, they revive Frieza, they regenerate his body, and then he says he's going to turn his attentions back towards Goku and company, and he wants to return to Earth. But after a brief conversation, he realizes that his army is pitiful and that they're weak and they're spineless, and he says that we need to do something about this, and he decides that he's going to train. He explains that he has never trained and he was born a genius with genius fighting ability, so he's never had to train. And that makes sense. If you're a person who's essentially always had the power of Super Saiyan level or slightly below Super level, who in the rest of the world could challenge you? So he goes on further to explain that his father said that there's two people that he should never challenge: Boo and Lord Bills, so Beerus-sama. So he says that don't challenge these two people. Other than that, free reign to do whatever you want to do. So he never felt the need to actually train. So now, basically, he has 4 months to train and try to surpass the strength that Goku and company have. So now that we have the premise and we understand, I'm going to pass it over to David, and I want to get David's feelings on the whole thing.
Well, I gotta say, I'm pretty actually excited to see this. I mean, it's been a while since we've gotten some good Dragon Ball Z, and it's been a while since anybody's been really excited about this stuff. I'm gonna like to see what new abilities, if any, that Frieza's gonna get with his new form or whatever. And and I know a lot of people had a little bit of a problem with his new form, like look or whatever, but I think it looks good. I think it looks a lot more like cooler, and you see the resemblance a lot more between them, and so I'm looking forward to it. And yeah, that's what I think about it.
Okay, Twan, let's go ahead and go to you.
To be honest, I'm not engaged in this whole thing at all. Like, I didn't like Battle of the Gods at all. And I'm really not that interested in Revival of F. I'm going to watch it all because I'm a Dragon Ball Z fan, but I really don't like the direction that it's going.
Expand on that.
Well, mostly because, one, I felt like Battle of the Gods, it was like another way of just saying, like, hey guys, you want more Goku? We're going to give you more Goku. It doesn't expand on the other characters that you have, as far as even Gotens, like even some small as Gotens, or or even making it where you're saying that, oh, okay, well, Gohan, we want to make you the protector of Earth again. It's just like you just keeping Goku in the reins. Where at the Revival of F, you're taking an old villain that you had before, and now you're saying, oh, well, guys, we're going to bring probably everybody's favorite villain back. It's just, it kind of is like you're recycling the same thing. And, we all know how it's going to end. Goku is going to find a way to beat him. I doubt that Beerus is going to intervene, or it's going to be a thing like that. And from my understanding, it wasn't that Super Saiyan God, it wasn't that he's fighting Super Saiyan God, he's fighting Goku, just in his regular base in Super Saiyan form. So, we'll see how that goes, but again, I'm not really looking forward to it.
All right, Flip, you punch or counter with Twan?
Gonna fuck out of that, or counter, I should say.
Right.
first off, how much character development do you think you're going to get in a movie as far as Battle of the Gods? That shit was like an hour, 30 minutes or some shit like that at the most. These niggas don't have time to fucking talk about, you know what I'm saying, the entire development of everybody. Obviously, people are there to see, for real, they're there to see Goku and Vegeta fuck some shit up. You know what I'm saying? That's what they were giving the most shine out of everybody. And then, of course, obviously, Beerus and Wiz. Revival of F, once again, it's a movie, so I'm not tripping on anything. I'm curious to see what they're going to do. I don't know that they're going to have Goku beating Frieza, like maybe Frieza this time, because Goku didn't beat Beerus, you know what I'm saying? So, I don't know. I'm looking forward to see what they do with it. I'm just glad that they're still continuing on with the saga. And, you know, and for the most part, the reception has been positive from Dragon Ball fans. And I just hope they keep on going. I'm hoping it might eventually turn into like another series, maybe even like a one-shot, you know what I'm saying, I don't know, 26 episodes, something like that. It don't have to be like a whole nother saga, but I'd like to see that. But if it just keeps on like periodic movie releases, I'm good with that. I like the manga chapter that they released with the revival of F. You know, basically, I don't know, the prequel type shit. I think Frieza's new fucking look, it's yellow. Maybe that's kind of like a nod to how.
Well,
you know,
hold on about his transformation. We're gonna get into that. That'll be our next topic.
Say, bro, don't cut me off. This nigga David already talked about it being cool. Fucker. But nah, go ahead. That's really it, though.
All right.
Shit.
I'm gonna go ahead and join in and counter with you right here because I don't agree with Twan either. Like, I agree to an extent that, you know, other characters didn't get development, things like that. But like Flip said, like, realistically, this is a movie, and how much development can we add? But furthermore, I felt like characters did get development. We got to see Vegeta be humiliated, or actually humiliate himself in a way that we've never seen him humiliate himself in Battle of the Gods. And we got to see Goku basically get trounced in a two-shot move or something to that extent at Super Saiyan level 3. Yes, he ultimately gained a new power and was able to challenge Bills, but he didn't accomplish anything. Like, he didn't beat Bills. And that was one of my favorite things. What I liked about Battle of the Gods is pretty much the opposite of what other people expect, because people just, like, at this point, expect Dragon Ball Z to be so action-packed that when you actually do get a little bit of world building and character development, it becomes, like, not commonplace, and people aren't expecting that. So I felt like there were small little character developments that happened throughout. We got to know, we got to understand that Bills had a relation with Frieza. He knew Frieza. He spoke of Frieza. And it kind of like almost kind of foreshadowed Frieza being the next person to come back within this story. So then we come forward to this story. I feel that it's not going to be another Goku show, so to speak. In fact, after Battle of the Gods, Toriyama said that he wanted the focus of this next story, the protagonist, to be Vegeta. So we can expect to see more Vegeta than Goku in this story. And I think that this is actually kind of righting the wrong, because last time Goku defeated Frieza and then Trunks killed Frieza. And I think this is his opportunity to give Vegeta his day in the sun, because Vegeta is the one who lost the most out of all that, because he was the one who desired to defeat Frieza. That was his dream. That was his goal. And I think that this is like basically a second chance for Vegeta to get his day in the sun, essentially. So that said, I want to see how they deal with the Super Saiyan God levels. Does Goku get to transform into that at will now that he's opened that gate? Is it like, now that he's broke that threshold, he can now enter that threshold at any point? will he have to do the kumbaya circle jerk again to get there again? Like, I want to know if those things happen. So I also want to see how it goes about giving it to Vegeta. I'm really interested in this for that purpose. More so, I really want to deal with the one thing that I think people keep getting upset about, which is the fact that Frieza level grinds to overcome the power levels that they've already achieved. And I don't know. I use this percentage. I broke this down into math when I was in the group, and I was debating this on a post with somebody. But basically, at the end of the Saiyan saga with Vegeta, at the end of the battle with Vegeta, Goku was essentially at 32,000. He had a power level of 32,000. And after that, he went all the way up to X million when he transformed into Super Saiyan, within a few weeks or a few months. So if he can make that huge of a jump from, 32,000 to over millions, then that's like just think about the percentage of increase that is. Just why wouldn't Frieza, a being who was born essentially at the Super Saiyan power level, he was born right underneath that threshold, and never had to train. Now he's going to train for 4 months rigorously, and push himself to the limit. Why couldn't he also achieve greatness? I guess that's my biggest issue, because people say 4 months of level grinding shouldn't overcome all of the training and stuff that the Z fighters have had, and all the transformation that they've encountered. But they're a different type of race than Frieza is. Frieza was born at Super Saiyan almost. You know what I'm saying? Like, why are we holding a cap to him because, he shouldn't be able to achieve what they've achieved in years? I think that's a horrible logic to have in regards to these characters. Saiyans have obviously superior gene structure to other races, but that it's clear that Frieza and his race, I want to say they're called the Frost Demons, have superior gene structures to other races. So it's quite possible that, with training, these motherfuckers can, just leap levels beyond others. So did y'all have any thoughts on that particular thing? I'll go with you, David.
Well, I just kind of always thought that what was it? I just always thought that, the point is to level grind. Like, that's what they all do every time. Like, look at the Cell Saga. Like, they couldn't beat Cell, so what they do? They went in the hyperbolic time chamber. It's always been about grinding. I don't know why everybody's problem is like, oh, I guess they think maybe Frieza's a little too overpowered, maybe. But I assume he just his his power probably went up just in general, just by being revived and stuff. He probably got revived at a higher power level, and if he's going to train for 4 months just as vigorously as like you said, just as vigorously as Goku did in his trip from Earth to Namek, which was 6 days?
Mm-hmm.
6 days to 4 months, that's a huge difference. That'll boost your power up. That's what I think, and I don't know what everybody's problem about it is. That's typical. The good guy can do it, why can't the bad guy?
Right. Twine, let's go to you.
I agree with the idea that, it should be a level grind. And you know what? If you're going to show that this being who is already powerful as hell at base, and I think that was a good point that David made, was that Goku took 6 days just to get comparable to Ginyu, just to be just to be more powerful than Ginyu, and and that was only 6 days of training. So in what was that, in 100 times gravity or 50 times gravity, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing is that that's cool, but then now it kind of opens it, and that's why I'm saying I'm not intrigued about the movie itself, is because think about it. Cell wasn't strong as hell. Cell was strong as hell and he didn't train. Majin Buu, all versions of Majin Buu were strong as hell and didn't train. And I think that's the thing, is that I feel like it's going to open up this big ass Pandora's box of just bringing back villains and be like, oh, well, this guy was strong as hell. He didn't train, so let's bring him back. Oh, this guy, he can train in 300 times gravity. Like, it becomes ridiculous after a while. Like, bring in new villains. Or, you know, instead of it being a thing where you're doing that, bring back movie villains. Bring back fucking Janemba, why don't you? Or bring back Broly. You know, we didn't even see, like, a really fitting into Broly. Bio Broly was a piece of garbage. And, you know, like, it was really no justification of how really to beat him just by getting him off the planet. You know, so it's like, you know, I think that if we're gonna keep on doing, I think if Toriyama's gonna keep doing this, then, you know, it's like you're taking an old idea and just saying, let's put some more stickers on it, instead of just saying, like, let's take an old idea and actually do something completely new with it. You know, that's all I want to see. I just want to see more innovation. You know, I was glad in Vegeta. I was glad to see the character development in Goku because, hey, it was, you know, I would like to see just more good stuff come from it.
Okay. Before I go to you, Flip, because I do want to hear your thoughts on this. I do want to say that, you know, some of those characters you mentioned are non-canon characters, you know, Antoine, and like I don't support bringing over these canon characters into the canon-based world to address those characters. On top of that, Frieza, of the villains listed, Boo, Cell, and Frieza, he's the only one who has followers and an army and people that support him. So who else would come and wish Cell back? Who would come and wish Boo back? You know, well, we already had Goku wish Boo back as Oob, in a different saga that's not canon. So, you know, I don't think that there's any precedence to suggest that would happen. I think Frieza is the only one that actually matters and could actually come back within this universe, within this world. All right, Flip, I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to you. Thoughts?
I mean, we just got 2 new, you know, characters, I should say. I don't know, villains, because it seems more like Beerus is more like a fucking, I don't know. He's a wild card, but he's ultra powerful, so it's not like you can't fight him again. Maybe they can do something where they turn him evil. Oh, that kind of brings me back to Xenoverse. They have a dope story for Xenoverse also. I forgot to mention that when we were talking about it, but that story they created is pretty dope.
Is it new?
Yeah, it's new. It's new.
Okay.
It's got like whole new characters. I mean, obviously characters from the established universe are already in there, but whole new storyline. But so maybe they could even branch that off into it. I don't know, because I think Toriyama created that story as well, or at least had some input on it. So anyway, though, I mean, I don't know how Cell would be able to come back. You know, I guess you could wish him back with the Dragon Balls, but who's going to do that? Cell had no underlings. All the androids are, you know, Dr. Gero is dead, and so there's nobody alive that's going to want to wish him back. Boo has already been reincarnated as I want to see more of that. You know, so I want to see what happens with him, and maybe that, you know, maybe he, I don't know, maybe he fucking trains under Beerus or some shit and becomes like beast ass motherfucker or something like that. I don't know. There's possibilities. There's a lot of possibilities. You know what I'm saying? Who knows what could happen? I don't think that Toriyama's just going to be lame and revive all of his villains. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's run out of ideas. He's a creative dude. You know what I mean? I think Frieza was chosen because Frieza is probably his favorite villain, and where he wanted to end with the Frieza saga. So, you know, that it makes sense why he would revisit that. And I think that he's capable of making new shit. I'm not worried about him old villains every time. Now, he probably knows this is the one time he can get away with doing that without fans being in an uproar. I think for the most part, fans are excited about the shit. So,
let me go ahead and ask you then, Flip. How do you feel about the new transformation? I mean, we've already seen now the gold and purple look that Frieza has. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I'm a Laker fan, so automatically I love it. Second, I think that him getting gold as part of his look is probably a nod to Super Saiyans being able to go gold. You know, when you go Super Saiyan, your shit turns gold. So I think it's kind of just establishing a bit of a parallel there. I don't have any problem with the new transformation. I mean, I kind of hope it's not the only one. You know what I'm saying? Maybe we'll have like another one after that. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that's just the base of his new power level type shit. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? If it is the only one, I think that shit is dope. He looks cool. Like David was saying, he looks kind of like Lord Slug. You know what I'm saying? Closer to him, and I like that because that character had a cool design. So yeah, I'm all for it. You know what I'm saying? People are gonna find, you know, shit to nitpick, but that shit ain't bothering me.
All right, David, your thoughts on the new look of Frieza, his new transformation?
Well, I mean, like I said before, like I think he's got a lot of closer resemblance to Cooler now. Kind of like how Cooler had his final form was really sleek on the like on the head and stuff. And I like the colors. Like the colors really signify that he level grinded and got to this new form. And it's a more perfect form, you know. And that's I don't know. I don't know why everybody's got such a problem with it. I mean, I saw somebody wrote like looks like a shiny Pokemon. I thought that was funny, but but no, I think I think it looks cool, and I think it's fun to have a new like an old villain back. I love it because it's so fun to retouch and like the old stuff, and like you're kind of like go back to your roots a little bit and bring your Frieza in. What better roots than that?
Right.
Nobody wants to see Raditz or Nappa.
I want to see Nappa. Shit. Nappa was the homie. All right, Twan, what are your thoughts on Frieza's new transformation and having the gold purple look?
Well, the gold I'm not a fan of. Like like all because it looks like it seems like oh, Frieza's about to turn Super Saiyan. Like that's the only knock I think about it. Like when I saw, I was like, oh, so Frieza can turn Super Saiyan, and I was like totally like this is bullshit. Come on. But as far as a new look, I think that's pretty dope. You know, instead of it looking like the shitty Mecha Frieza, you know, where he had fucking elbow pads on his goddamn face. So it's like, all right, you know what? It's nice to see Frieza. It's nice to see Frieza is back in some kind of form. And you know, despite my disinterest in the movie, you know, as a fan, it was a cool thing to see. Like, oh, okay, you know what? Frieza looked like he's off his drug binge, and he looked like he's taking care of himself now. So now, you know what? He's gonna come back and just supernova everybody to death. So that's gonna be dope.
Okay. As far as my thoughts on the look of Frieza, I don't have any issue with it. I just feel like somebody in the group said that it kind of sets a precedence that the gold aura and the gold look is a representation of achieving like the highest form of power, or achieving another level of power beyond that of what you could achieve beforehand. Although we have God now, which is a different color aura, but for the baseline, I think we're saying that Saiyans going gold or other entities going gold represents them achieving their greatest form. So I don't really have an issue with it. And plus, I never liked the biggest complaint I've seen is people saying that, oh, he should get bigger or larger like Cooler does. Like, I don't think that he should. I thought that the power of Frieza was always that he got smaller or whatever. He got larger first, then he got smaller, and he became down to more reduced, compact size. And that's what made him stronger, in my opinion, or look stronger, or seem stronger. He had all that power within that small body. So I have no issues with the look per se. I'm just excited to kind of see this go forth. So, I mean, obviously, you guys are going to have different opinions than we are, but let us know how you feel about that down below. Have you been playing Xenoverse? Do you like the game? Do you like the mechanics? Do you like the experience, or did you have a nostalgia orgasm, from playing the game? Do you like the new storyline in there, like Filip mentioned? Are you excited about the revival of F trailer, or not? About the new transformation and look of Frieza? Is it a cop out to look too much like a Super Saiyan, or is it cool to look like you a Lakers All-Star? F the Lakers, BT Dub. You know, Celtics all day. Anyway, straight slander. All right, so that's it from us today. You know, leave your comments down below, and we'll see you guys on the next video.
Peace.